If you've ever wondered what the difference between a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is, well, let this video be your guide. This video is one part of a series put out by Evergreen. So, Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13 bankruptcy. What is the difference? Chapter 7 bankruptcy is considered the easy bankruptcy. It's easy. It's considered lightning fast, super fast, and it's one of the most affordable ways to get rid of your debt. I mean, there's just no discussion about it. So a Chapter 7 bankruptcy means that if you have the right kind of debt, that's going to be unsecured debt, credit cards, medical bills, payday loans, personal loans, that type of debt. If you have that type of debt and it's overwhelming you, then you might be able to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and completely eliminate your responsibility on all of that debt. Really, remember, we're talking about credit cards, medical bills, payday loans, personal loans, unsecured debt. You don't get a free house in bankruptcy. You don't get a free car, and you don't get to stop paying your child support, your alimony, your taxes, or your student loans simply because you file for bankruptcy. But Chapter 7 bankruptcy can, in 3 to 5 months, and for as little as $1,500 or $2,000, depending on where you live, you can completely eliminate that kind of debt. But in order to do so, your household has to be below a certain income threshold, and that's going to be unique to your state. Every state has a different income threshold, and it's called your state's bankruptcy means test. If your household income is below the income limit for your family based on your state, then you get the opportunity to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. But you still have one more thing that you have to check before you are safe to move forward with a Chapter 7 if you're under those limits. The second part of a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, after you figure out whether or not you qualify from an income standpoint, second thing you have to do is to determine whether or not you have something valuable, like a house or a car, something that your state will not protect for you if you file for bankruptcy. And here's where the devil's in the details. The things that the state of Ohio allows you to protect is very different than the things that the state of Texas allows you to protect, which is very different than the things that the state of Tennessee allows you to protect. And at the end of the day, every state is wildly different in terms of what you're allowed to do if you were to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy where you live. So some people's houses will be completely safe where they live. Some people will have too much equity and they won't be able to file a Chapter 7 simply because they have something valuable. So again, there are 2 tests for Chapter 7. Number 1 is an income test. You have to be below a certain number in order to file a Chapter 7. And number 2, you have to be sure that there's nothing that's really important to you that exceeds your state's exemption. That means it's more valuable than your state will allow you to have, which means that they would take it away from you if you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Whoa, that sounds scary. Well, what do we do now? Bankruptcy's not for me. No. That's not the end of the discussion here. Because there's a second type of bankruptcy called a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is designed for 2 separate reasons. The first reason someone would file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is because their income is over that household threshold that they're allowed to have for their state. That's reason number 1. So if you're going into a Chapter 13 because you have a lot of debt that you can't manage, but you earn a little bit too much money to be able to file a Chapter 7, you're going to go into a Chapter 13 paying back what you can afford after all of your needs are met first. It's really designed to create a budget for you and to safely navigate you through the debt based on what you can afford to pay. The second reason someone would file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is because they might still be under the income limit, which is great. They could file a Chapter 7, but they own something that is too valuable for their state if they wanted to keep it. Those people file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy to try to reorganize the debt, but also keep the thing that they value. The reason you're in a Chapter 13, whether it's because you're over the income limit or it's because you have something too valuable, those are going to have different responsibilities, different requirements of you. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to get some clarity. But it's really important to understand that either bankruptcy can be a life changer. And as somebody who has been dealing with bankruptcy law for the last almost 30 years, I can tell you meaningful changes occur when people come to a bankruptcy lawyer and start talking about their options. Yeah, maybe you can't get through the easy bankruptcy and just get rid of all your debt, but what have you got right now? You're making minimum payments, you're falling behind. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy will stop all compounding interest. So even if you are paying some or even all of your debt back in a Chapter 13, you're not chasing the compounding interest, which is a total game changer. At the end of the day, either bankruptcy can be a tremendous life changer for anyone. And if you're dealing with unsecured debt, credit cards, medical bills, payday loans, personal loans, and it is overwhelming to you, you should consider bankruptcy as a legitimate, safe, and legal option to manage your debt. Some people have a very easy route. Some people have a little bit more difficult route, but it's usually better than all the other debt relief options that are out there right now.